Give a round of applause for all these diverse filmmakers. Thank you.
Oh, this is a lot of people. The guy standing at the very end is a friend of mine, Joe Russell.
Hey, Joe.
Hey, Joe. So what we're going to do is start way down there with Joe, who I coincidentally know, and then we can move down this way. So everyone just, and tell us your name, where you're from, because there's a lot of international people here, and what project you worked on that we just saw.
Okay, hi, my name is Joe Russell. I produced the episode of Turbo Dates that you saw. The first one is the time stoppage.
And where are you from?
Where am I from originally?
Yeah, tell us.
From Southern Illinois originally.
Yay!
Southern Illinois, Belleville, all right. Not many people are from there. And I've been acting, producing out here for about 12 years or so.
All right, is there somebody from your project in the audience, like cast? Or...
Yes, the writer is here, Terry Rossio, right
Stand
there.
up. Hey, Terry Rossio. Great writer.
Yeah, and the cast members could not make it tonight.
Okay.
But the two of us are representing.
That's cool. Real quick, because I'm going to go down, and so everyone think about this as we talk to Joe. In a nutshell, tell us why you did this project, and where it came from.
Well, I got brought on, I was actually doing another film that we were shooting on the property of Terry and Jocelyn Stammet, who is the show creator.
Mm-hmm.
And he told me about the project and what he was trying to do with it, and I just kind of obviously jumped on. And I think it's funny, I've never been on a speed date myself. I know a lot of people have and have told me really funny stories. In fact, our friend Alessia has had a lot of really good stories of dates that she's gone on. So I think it's just a really fun, little thing. We hope to have there are actually a lot of episodes. A number of episodes were produced before I jumped on board. And we just want to have a nice little collection and hopefully find a nice home for them one day.
And can they be found somewhere right now online or something?
We're kind of keeping them under wraps a little bit. We don't
Okay.
want to release them for free right now.
Okay.
It will be the plan to find one really nice home for them, whether it be a dating website that's already established or something like that.
Cool.
But we are doing a festival circuit with random episodes. So
Thanks, Joe.
yeah, welcome.
Lovely lady in the red jacket.
Thank you so much. I was trying to find parking and missed the screening, so thank you, Susan. I know. I didn't want to, come up if I was on it. Yeah, well, the green lights aren't always available. I can't judge a book by its cover, I guess. So, writer, director, and actor, Sleepover LA. I was a snippler for a short film that is going to be released in a couple months. And my name is Lily Baldwin, and I'm from New York City. I'm here actually finishing the film, and it was really exciting to work with Susan and to screen our snippler. I was a dancer for 10 years, started making films 5 years ago, and built dance into my narratives. Worked with very sensitive stylized dreamscape, and think that body and gesture, when deftly and artistically used, can actually tell story in more creative ways.
I think you're really tremendously talented. I saw your trailer in the previous block,
Thank you.
and you look kind of like PJ Harvey or something, the way you're moving around.
Oh,
and
is that a juice box after?
Yeah.
Yeah, that
was
the beginning
great.
of a series.
Your work is so good.
Thank you so much.
I actually wrote, on a side note, the Huffington Post piece that came out about this festival a couple days ago, and I used your little clip in the article. So.
I really appreciated that. It's sort of strange and interesting, and it's really nice to have it appreciated.
Thank you, Lily.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, where are you from?
New York.
Thank you.
Yeah, cheers.
Who's next?
Hi, I'm Jim Cirile. I'm the writer, creator, executive producer of Liberator, which was the Lou Ferrigno
that was
you saw a
great.
trailer for it. It also it's basically got our all-star geek cast that every single one of these guys are people who I grew up admiring. Michael Dorn, who played Worf on Star Trek and Deep Space Nine for all those years. Peter Wilson from La Femme Nikita. Don the Dragon Wilson, action movie fans, kickboxing fans, of course, know him. And of course, Ed Asner. So it started out as a short film, and then it became a comic book series, which is coming out this summer via Blue Water Comics, which we're really excited about. And next up, it's going to be, if all goes well, a motion comic feature, and then if everything really goes well, a live action feature. So that's what we're hoping for.
Where can people find it now or in the near future?
Well, right now we're doing the festival circuit and Comic-Cons. Really, that's where our fan base is, obviously. So we're going to be at Comic-Con next month, and we're going to be in Wizard World Chicago, and we're going to be at Dragon Con and all those other things.
Oh, that's great.
A couple of other film festivals too.
I loved it. I love seeing Lou Ferrigno in action.
It's great to see
No, who
him back.
doesn't?
And the great thing is there's actual political subtext, which you didn't get just from the trailer, but Lou actually plays a whistleblower who was involved in all sorts of deep black ops shit back in the day, 30 years ago, and the superhero thing was his cover, and now he's finally decided to blow the whistle and come out. So there's lots of great subtext, or not even subtext, but overt ramifications as to what's going on now with Mr. Snowden and all that other stuff. So it's very cool.
Thank you.
Hello, I'm Kristy Best. I'm from Sydney, Australia.
Welcome.
Hello, thank
Did
you.
you come here just for this?
I was planning to come to LA, so it was kind of perfect timing.
Okay,
really.
perfect.
Yeah, would have been a little bit full on, right? Done a big trip, did big 15 hours just to be here. So mine was the Snippler DeadHeart, sorry, with an American accent, DeadHeart. It's a bit easier for you to understand me. Which was kind of the vampire species kind of thing. Basically, that was put together as more of a stylistic pitch. The story really kind of focuses on a kind of a supernatural civil rights movement. So in Australia, we're quite a young country, and probably in a lot of senses a good 40 years behind you guys, particularly with multiculturalism, and we've had some race riots and all sorts of things I think that have been really shaping the younger generation, and I really wanted to put together something that would give them an opportunity to put themselves in someone else's shoes, understand what it's like to see two species fight it out, deal with discrimination, understand what apartheid is about. It's kind of interesting being an island in the middle of nowhere, separated from everybody. So we've got to find our own ways to bring about education through entertainment.
I want to go to Australia.
Oh, you should. It's beautiful.
Well, I
I'm sorry,
love
I don't
the
want to
people.
scare
Every
anybody.
time I meet Australians, they're the nicest people.
Yeah.
Very friendly.
They're quite friendly.
Yeah.
I think we're very. I think we've got pretty good manners.
Yeah. You
Yeah.
seem to. You're a good ambassador of your country.
I am David Dawn. I was one of the writers on The Learning Curve, the teacher thing you guys saw.
I've got mine, good. And my name's Phil. No, we shouldn't.
This is Phil McCarty. He is the other writer on it.
No, it's okay. If you guys are a team, go ahead and do your thing. I love it.
All right, okay, then we're a team. Like time or something, which we don't.
Well, or else I'll say everything and then you'll just be like, yep, that's it.
I could be like a hype man, it's like, hell yeah, hell yeah.
You both have amazing hair, by the way.
Thank you, we did it just for you.
Try incredibly hard.
I'm from Gainesville, Florida, he's from South Florida. And I have to say this just because I never thought I'd get the chance to say this. So when we were, living in Florida, we didn't have like everyone's cousins, like a director or some photographer or whatever. So we'd have to go to the internet to kind of build our career, our knowledge of our industry. And the site that we used all the time, I'm gonna call him out right now to his face, Wordplay. We went to Wordplay all the time to learn, we still go to Wordplay.
I have packets and packets of
We printed it out.
printouts when I was starting.
Last week we were there because we had to write a treatment for something. We went to your site, Terry, to look at your treatment for
Stop.
Godzilla as a reference point.
You're
We're
embarrassed.
he's like, oh
You're
god,
embarrassed.
poor guy.
You're embarrassed.
It's so cool to
He's
use that
leaving.
site to kind of leverage.
Don't do this.
So it was so cool, use that site to leverage it, to get out here, and then be in front of a room where he hopefully did not dislike what we made. So that's cool, right? Is that cool?
I love when the panelists are geeking out over the audience. It's doesn't happen often.
I'll
but I
get that
love
inside later. But
So
right now,
great.
I'm live and live.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, bro.
I feel like I have the second half to his question. Why we did the piece. So we could be in front of Terry Russell talking about
I know.
Yeah.
Well, I loved it. It was so good.
Thanks so much.
So good.
Thank you.
Next.
I'm Nick Reed. I was a producer of, gotta change the title.
The Lady in Number 6.
Thank you, The Lady in Number 6.
Oh, so great.
Filmmaker, I've known for a long time. I just said I got this call from someone in New York about this lady. he told me the story, and by the time he was off the phone, 5 minutes later, I said, okay, we're going to do it. I called up 2 friends of mine, and I said, I need some money, you're going to lose it all. They give it to me. I told them the story, they said, we're in, and we started shooting. When we started shooting, she had just about turned 107, and she was truly one of the most amazing people I've ever met. I mean, you walk away truly thinking, I'm not worthy. Shot for a couple of days. At the end of it, she lectured us all on the importance of mentoring, that it was our duty to find young people and try and help them any way we can. I asked her I'm English, but I live in Los Angeles. I asked her a very California question. I asked her about diet, looking for some tips on longevity. But she lives on Meals on Wheels, which in England is basically hot food delivered in a van. Just the most amazing woman. Just her attitude and view on life is just truly incredible. Film is going to come out. We're going to self-distribute the film. We're going to put out a longer 8-minute, 10-minute piece, hopefully beginning of July. Which, having done a lot of favors with people in the online space, I'm hoping to make go viral, and then hopefully get it on DVD later this summer. And the goal, of course, is to, it's such an amazing story, to try and get the film, which is 40 minutes, see if we can get lucky and get nominated.
The full film is 40 minutes?
The full film is 39 minutes and 15 seconds.
Okay, so it's like a long short.
Exactly.
A featurette. Okay.
So it's literally the reason I made it was when you hear that story, how can you not tell that story? So
Oh yeah.
that's what it was.
I wish it could be a full feature. I mean, I love that. I want to see it. I'm dying to see it.
I took the view that we had a bunch of people see the film, and basically the best thing I got back from people, other than there were tears and there was laughter, was everyone said it was 10 minutes too short. So if you take the old adage, which is, leave them wanting more.
Yeah.
I think at a full-length feature, I think it would still be great, but I think it would lack the power of, because when you see 40 minutes and there's 2 other ladies who are in their 80s who are very young, who also
They're like
experienced it, and when you hear what they talk about, one of my favorite quotes from one of the ladies is, she said her father told her to put as much as she could in her head, because the Germans can never take that away from you. And it's just really about, I think, the power of art and the inspiration. So, thank you.
Thank you.
I'm Jane Espenson. I'm local. Along with my partner Brad Bell, I co-wrote and co-created the Husbands one, which was the penultimate piece. So it was the one that was actually, we did it in 3 acts. So what you just saw was the 3rd act, where they were being interviewed by John Cryer. And the piece with Felicia Day at the end actually referred to something that happened in one of the earlier acts. So that's what was going on with that.
That's so cool. Can you talk about the genesis of it a little?
Yeah, this was a project that Brad and I started a couple years ago when he came to me with the idea of doing a show about gay newlyweds. And it was like, well, yeah, why isn't that being done? And the TV has always done newlywed stories really, really well. We live in a marriage equality age.
There hasn't been one.
There hasn't been one. When it's been done on traditional broadcast television, the focus tends to get put on babies and such, and it's like, that doesn't. We want to do a show about genuine newlyweds that are still excited about each other.
So when people get tired of The Bachelorette or something,
Right.
clamor for this, perhaps.
Yeah. So now we just started a new deal with the CW, and we've shot some more. We've got 40 new minutes of material that's going to be coming out this summer and fall.
It's cool. It's a really good cast.
Oh yeah, that was Joss Whedon, you saw, and John Cryer, and McCarty Pfeiffer. So yeah, we've had some fantastic guest stars.
Great, thank you.
Hi, I'm Adam Cushman. I am the director of the Whipping Club. I'm originally from Miami. The Whipping Club is a book by author Deborah Henry, who it's about a woman in 1960s Ireland who's forced to give up her little boy for adoption, thinking that he's going to a better life in the States, but it turns out he's going to a very abusive orphanage. And you saw some of that. There are effectively 2 strains as far as what this is. It's a short film, but it's also a form of new media called a cinematic book trailer. which I'm sure you've seen some of the book trailers that are online, the slideshow, that type of thing. And what we're trying to do I run a company called Red 14 Films, and what we're trying to do is essentially approach the form much like music videos do for albums, which is to use cinema, advertising, and literature as one art, so that it's not a direct ad that you're using, but rather something that's visually appealing that hopefully will bring people to.
Well, it made me want to read the book, which is the point. And I thought it was beautifully done, really sensitively. Every element of it was beautiful.
Oh, thank you so much.
Even though it's horrific,
Right.
Obviously. Audience questions, please. Anybody? Raise your hand. No? Questions? I don't see any hands.
We covered it all.
We covered it. Wow, amazing. Okay, let's hear it for them. I love these people. Keep creating. This is brilliant. Great panel.
Before I bring up the amazing talent that is going to be part of this section, I didn't want to forget this. Nick, who was talking about the lady in number 6, won in the 3D category, I think a year or two ago. It's titled Cosmic Journey, and it's the Hubble Telescope Space Images in 3D. Oh, that was the year Ray Bradbury died, when we honored him with the Legend Award, and his short Kaleidoscope had won the grand prize. So yes, so Ray was supposed to come and win the award. He died the week before. We had already sold out. The Landmark graciously opened us up to a larger theater, and Kyle Schemberg, who was on our morning panel, did some of the footage. The National Endowment of the Art had done this stunning 20-minute piece, and our editor for the festival and I were sitting in his room like late at night, and pretty much we were kind of holding a funeral for him because we were the last place he was supposed to be, and I just kind of looked at Rowley and I said, Rowley, who are we to tell this man's life? Who are we? So I just said, I remembered this Fahrenheit 451 National Endowment of the Arts, and he Googled, and he found the audio version, and I found the video version, and we called them up, and they let us edit the footage any way we want, and we had a 6-minute exquisite piece, him talking about his life and the world and story and laughter. So, anyways, Cosmic Journey ended that particular night, and it was just breathtaking because what it does, and I'm going to go on my little flower child, save the planet. It's a universe, and we're a planet in the universe, and we're humans on the planet. So can we just come from love? Can we choose what story we're going to tell? Can we tell it well? Can we tell a story that's going to last the test of time? Thank you. Just so you know what's going on and who's here. Okay, so Zach Gruber has been a dear, dear friend. I'm blessed to have him in my life. He happens to be a prolific writer and very funny, and we have many, many, many stories together.
So today in the audience, and up here soon to be next to me, we have Academy Award nominee Eric Roberts, one of my favorite actors. And another one of my favorite actors who starred in so many movies that I love, Matthew Modine. Please come up. This is a treat. Yeah. Oh, you guys are friends? Oh, yeah. Oh, good. Okay, well, you both are now new media. How's that feel?
He asked me how it felt. I said, hot.
Well, that's good. So
was it Francis Ford Coppola? Remember when they started making video VHS tape cameras, and he said that the next great filmmaker would come from, she'd be a little short, fat girl from Oklahoma that would make the next great movie, and it shouldn't have to be any of those things, but of course, what we have the opportunity today with cameras and video, Apple editing equipment, is that filmmaking is something that's now in the hands of everybody who has a desire to learn how to use the equipment and make a film, tell a story.
it is incredible. Are you making films? Are you shooting? Are you doing your own things right now?
Oh, yeah.
I want to hear all about it.
Actually, this week, the short films of Matthew Modine were released on iTunes. So it's,
cool.
It's a collection of short films that I've been making for 20 years. And yeah, when I was a boy, Eke Pirate. There was one film here, you know, the David Sedaris story. I heard David Sedaris on National Public Radio, and he was telling a story about wanting to have a cigarette on a park bench in New York City. And it was the start of this, you know, the insanity about smoking, which is a good thing, because none of us need to smoke. I mean, it's really a bad habit. But David was struggling with just wanting to have a cigarette, and I loved this short story that I'd heard on National Public Radio, and I contacted him in New York. He was cleaning apartments for a living, which he really enjoyed doing because he said it gave him, while he was scrubbing someone's toilet, the impetus to go home and write some great American novel. Yeah. So.
I love cleaning too. Makes me, I don't know what it does. It does something for me, I don't know.
Other people's toilets can wait.
That's true. So tell me about your short films on iTunes. How many are there? What?
I think it's 7. It's
7?
When I was a boy, Smoking, Eke Pirate, To Kill an American, Jesus Was a Commie, which is a purposely provocative title. And there's one more in there that I can't think of what is it?
Hysterical, because he was.
Yeah, it's an interesting conversation. It's the people who've been most offended by the title, Jesus Was a Commie, or the people who've been most powerfully affected by the content of the story.
Oh,
It's a beautiful film.
I can't wait to see it.
Yeah, and I'm really excited to tell you that the trailer that you saw for Full Metal Jacket Diary, that began when a friend of mine gave me an old Rolleiflex camera.
That was going to be one of my questions, but you go right ahead.
An old, you know, it's a 2 1/4 by 2 1/4 camera, and he said that Kubrick was a photographer, and this might be a great way to break the ice when I get over to London to meet Stanley and work with him, you know, show him that you know how to use this camera. And so I taught myself to use this old camera, beautiful, beautiful camera. So once you look down like this, you know, and I showed up images upside down and backwards. Great for if you're dyslexic. It's a fantastic camera. And I kept kind of trying to pose with it and show Stanley that I had this old camera. And finally said, "What are you doing with that old piece of shit?" And I said, "What are you talking about? It's a beautiful camera." He goes, "I know what it is." He goes, "Listen, you want to take pictures on my set?" And he told me the whole camera package and lenses, all the way down to the camera bag, of what I should use to take pictures on his set. And the thing that was shocking and startling about this was that he said, "If you want to take pictures on my set," which was something that was unheard of. So I got this Minolta camera and I hated it, but I fell in love with this Rolleiflex camera. And I took pictures while, you know, I was in England for almost 2 years working with Kubrick on that film.
That is unheard of.
Yeah, unheard of. And I kept a diary because I was playing a journalist, and I thought it would be a valuable tool as an actor on set to just scribble things down that are being said, things that are being done.
You were writing a book, come on.
No, I wasn't writing a book.
Great book.
It's a hell of a book. And it's available on iTunes. And tonight is the first night if you can get the entire first chapter for free, but it's only for iPads. So if you don't have an iPad, you can't download it, but you can get the entire first chapter of the book.
Just tonight?
No. We're giving the first chapter away for free because once you.
For how long does that deal last?
I think for a few months.
Oh really? Oh cool.
We have to go home
a few
and
months to get
download
an iPad. That's great. That's a lot of stuff you're doing.
It is an amazing. I'm not going to lie. That presentation of the thing, that's just a taste of what the experience is like. And I mean, in the 25 years since I made that movie, I've been asked probably 50,000 times, what was Stanley like? And this book doesn't offer an answer. It offers an experience to look at it, kind of, you know, peeking through a crack in the wall of what it was like to work with
Oh, cool.
yeah.
Oh, cool. Well, I mean, that Kubrick exhibit at LACMA kind of gave you a glimpse of what he was like,
Yeah.
because it was so detailed, every single thing he did for every single movie, and even movies that were never made. It was like, you would think, you know how when you see TV shows and they show serial killers and they map out everything on their walls, like ridiculously detailed, like it looked like that. But it was organized madness that came to be brilliance. So Eric, tell me about this incredible piece that we just saw you in.
That's way too broad a question.
Okay, okay. First of all, I'm Catholic, whatever. But I really want to read this book, and you know, watching you up there, you're such an incredibly commanding actor. I was terrified, but I was also really drawn in, and I felt like that little boy putting his hands on the desk. It never happened to me, thank God. But my relationships with priests were always good. Now it's like a confessional. Anyway, but I just loved this performance, and I want to know, first of all, how did you approach this role that we just saw?
Oh, well, to be honest with you, I did this piece because of the subject matter. And my wife and I have very strong driving forces about child abuse and how to deal with it and how to deal with it properly and how to make people aware of it and how to make people aware of it in a positive way so they can help with remedies. And I just think it's important to make it accessible in the understanding thereof. And so that's why I did it. And then as I was doing it, I also read the book. And this woman can write. Oh my God, I recommend her. And it's a great read. This is all I know of her work.
Deborah Henry.
Yeah, and Deborah is a master. And it's really an eye-opening, self-educating adventure, if you will. And she kicks it tiny.
Oh my gosh. Raise your hand if you've read this book. Anybody? Yeah.
That's my wife.
I loved it, but it was unbearable. But it was so important and so well done. Also,
She says she loved it, but it was unbearable. Yeah. Oh, you mean Deborah? Oh, cool. Deborah's the antithesis of this. She's wild. She's just saying it. So, you have a lot in the works going on right now. I keep reading your name with all sorts of projects coming up.
Yeah, they will lie too.
And, well, I have to say, I'm really excited about Lovelace, which you're
Me
in.
too, yeah.
Yeah.
There's a performance by an actress in that movie that's going to stop traffic for a long time.
Really?
Yeah, boy.
Is it Amanda? Is it the?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
So Amanda's just pretty much perfect.
When does that get released? I know that's soon.
You'll have to ask somebody.
It's like July or August or something.
Yeah, it's this season, as it were, yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, it's an amazing cast, so hopefully you'll all check that out. And I saw you last year in a show that I loved on IFC called Bullet in the Face.
Oh, that was so much.
Oh my gosh, that was a blast. Did anyone see that? Bullet in the Face?
It can be found on your computer now.
Yeah, I mean, you can find it somewhere, hopefully on Netflix or something. But it was like a mini series. It was on for a couple nights on IFC.
Eddie Izzard stops traffic. He's remarkable.
It was one of the best things on TV last year, and I'm an Emmy voter, so I'm going to be voting for that all over the place. Anyway, that felt good. Anyway, thank you. And tell me about anything else going on in your lives right now that we should know. Work-wise, acting-wise.
Can I just bring up something that's not really about me, it's about all of us, and
Okay.
that's the fact that at this moment in time, because everybody can afford a camera now, there are 3,000 movies being made across this country as we speak. I'm in about a third of them.
It's true.
And, it's really fun. I like travel across this country now, And I just stop in every other state and I make a movie. And they're making movies and they want me in them. They call me, come in my movie, sure.
It's horror, it's sex, it's everything.
It's
He's
everything
in every
you think
genre.
of they're doing. And I played everything from a basketball coach to a deranged doctor. And it's just really fun to work with filmmakers from A to Z.
That's so great.
Big, fat, short, small, smart, stupid, funny, not so funny. It's great fun. I tell you, it's like going to a dance that you weren't invited to, but everybody's glad you're there. It's really fun.
I love that. I love that. I think of you as one of the sort of the leaders in acting of independent cinema. You really are, you're sort of a dream actor to work with for a lot of upcoming directors, and you do say yes to working with them.
Well, thank you so much, because it was a plan, and it was my wife's plan. I had nothing to do with it. I just showed up.
I think it's a great plan.
But my wife, about 15 years ago, we've been married like 5 or 6 years, and she has this idea. You want to work nonstop, right? I said, yeah, I would work every day of the year. She goes, okay, well, we're gonna have you in independent movies all over the world. I said, great, cool. And that's what she did. And everybody said, you're gonna ruin your career. And I said, well, it won't be the first time. So we did it, and I've had so much fun, and we've seen the world for free. Who knew?
Oh my gosh. Matthew.
I would ask a question about that. What do you do when, can you hear me? Yeah. What do you do, Eric, when you're working on a film and it's just a disaster? You know that the director is not really able to make a film, but you're in it now.
Well, only really one of those has happened in the past like 6 months, and it was a kids' soccer movie. And we had a director who didn't know how to line up camera shots for action stuff, and it was all action stuff. It was all big soccer games and stuff. Had no idea how to do it, and we'd have to stop and act, and then run, stop and act. It was really funny, and but it's all just part of the adventure. 25 years ago, I would have gone, oh, I can't do this, oh my God. But now it's fun. It's like, this guy didn't know what to do with it. I just roll with it. And when they ask me questions like, Eric, what would you do? Well, I would do it right. It's just so much fun. Because I have total, absolute humor about everything now, Matthew. I don't take anything seriously.
I love that approach.
And it's fun. It's really fun, and I learned that from my wife, so we can all thank her. Because I was way too serious before my marriage.
How would you handle that if you were on set and a director was just incompetent and you were stuck?
Well, I look forward to the day of being able to let go and have that kind of abandon. I bless you for that, man.
It takes practice.
Yeah, because it's Jean-Luc Godard said that he who jumps into the void owes no explanation for those who stand and watch. And so he's jumped into the void, man. Totally. It's not the abyss; it's just the void.
I definitely want to take audience questions. I don't know how much time we have.
That's awesome.
Good evening, gentlemen. I'm glad you can make it. I hope you're having as much fun as we are.
Thank you, brother.
Oh, you're welcome. And I want to thank you for being such a good sport through, dare I mention it, Best of the Best.
Awesome.
Yeah, this question is actually for Matthew. Speaking of Full Metal Jacket, what scene in that movie required the greatest number of takes to shoot, and which scene required the least number of takes to shoot? And how do those numbers compare with any other scene you've shot for any other movie?
And as an actor, he will know those answers. You always remember those better.
The only thing that we shot one take of was the Vietnamese girl being shot. They put a tremendous number of bullets on her body. I think there were near 50 bullet hits on her body. And she was a Vietnamese refugee living in London. And Stanley was so excited when he saw the dailies on it, he asked me to run down and get Leon Vitali, who had worked with Stanley Kubrick for about 30 years, to bring her up to show her the take. And when she watched it, she wept, and she wept until she shook, and then she couldn't stand. And Leon took her from the room, and Stanley didn't have the heart to ever put the bullet hits on her body again. You know, I wouldn't assume what she felt by seeing herself being shot, you know, being a Vietnamese refugee, but that was the end of that. So that was the only one take in the film. And we didn't measure things by numbers of takes, but by days, or how many weeks, and in one case, how many months that we had shot a scene. I think the longest scene in the film begins with me, with Arliss Howard, a wonderful actor. Have you ever worked with Arliss? Yeah, he played Cowboy, and Dorian Harewood, who played 8-Ball. And he comes up and he says, Cowboy says, you know, we're here and we're supposed to be here. They're lost. I'm looking at the map. And I come up and I say, what's the matter? We lost. And he tells me to shut the fuck up. And from that was the beginning of the scene. The end of the scene is when we all finally move into where the sniper is. We were at that wall for over 8 weeks. Yeah, that is an extraordinary amount of time. That's often what a lot of times the films that we work on today are shot in 8 weeks. And that was a scene in the film that might be, you know, 2 or 3 minutes of screen time. Now, in defense of Stanley Kubrick, and I think that because there's a lot of filmmakers in this room, when did we quantify art? Would you go up to Picasso and say, how long did it take you to make that painting? How many strokes in that painting? How long did it take you to write that song? Ludwig? You wouldn't, would you? You know, so why do we say that? Why do we have this kind of, this time issue on film, other than money? You know, so what we have the ability today is both of us have talked about with the cameras that are available to us, we have the ability to take the time that is necessary to tell a story, to make a film. Throw out the clock. Time is not something real. Time is something that we invented anyway. Imagine going up to an alligator and saying what time it is. What time is it? Or a giraffe, or an elephant.
Time to eat you.
Yeah, or a fly. They'd all have different senses of what time is and what a lifespan is. You know, ask a mountain what time it is. Thank you.
Good answer. There's a great story about Picasso that I love where, I don't know, you probably all heard this, but shortly before he died, he was accosted in an art museum for painting on one of his paintings. And the guards didn't know who it was. And they said, Mister, you know, we're gonna arrest you. And he was like, well, I was never done with this one. And they were like, oh, you're Picasso. So it just goes to show, you can't do that with a movie, obviously, you know, because it's up there on the screen. But
I know there's some
Well,
movies
also,
Eric and I would like to go back and have another shot at.
Oh, yeah, many performances already finished.
Yeah.
Can you name one?
Wow. Everybody will know.
This one's for Eric. And Eric, I want to thank you for being so accessible to independent filmmakers. Hats off to you for that. I reviewed a movie that you were in for Creative Screenwriting Magazine probably about 10 years ago called La Cucaracha, which was one of the most incredible performances that I've ever seen. You're laughing, but I just thought it was...
No, I'm not laughing, I'm wowing.
I just thought it was brilliant. And my question is, do you ever, I mean, there's got to be some negatives associated with doing a lot of independent work, and to my mind it might be that if you do a really kick-ass performance that could be Oscar-worthy, but maybe it just goes below the radar, doesn't get the attention it deserves. Does that ever bug the shit out of you?
Only after the fact, because you don't make a movie to it's like win an Oscar. But then when you see it and go, wow, like La Cucaracha, excuse me, but I'm good in that.
I want to see it.
And you like watch it and go, I'm so good. Nobody will ever know. Wow, that's depressing. And it is a little bit, because you really give a lot to be good. And when you hit it, you're so proud. You're like, okay, everybody look at this one. Where's everybody going? So yeah, sure, it's disheartening, but it's only after the fact, because as you're doing it, you're in love like with a new girlfriend. You don't think about anything else but your part. And am I right? Yeah, you're like in love with her.
You know, on that note, I want to ask a question to both of you. Is there, like La Cucaracha, is there a movie that you did that you think audiences should re-explore or rediscover, a role that you think might be kind of buried under the... Okay, well, feel free. I'm just dying, because these people will go out and rent them, and I will too. And
Yeah, I made a movie with Alan J. Pakula and Albert Finney and Kevin O'Connor called Orphans. And Kevin Anderson, excuse me, and thank you. One guy, thank you, I love you. I mean, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful film. It's a beautiful play. It was just on Broadway with Ben Foster playing my part and Alec Baldwin playing Albert Finney's part. Yeah.
Different casting.
A little bit different casting. Yeah.
Orphans.
Orphans. Yeah. When the film didn't open, the studio went out of business. When on our opening day, we went to the premiere of the film, and the theater that we were going to have the premiere at was closed. Yeah, it was really depressing. Yeah, and
that can hurt a guy's feelings.
Yeah, yeah. The guy that produced the film, there used to be a really famous restaurant where they had big Oscar parties over here. I can't remember what it was called. You know, in the '80s, where everybody went to that restaurant. It was
Sardi's?
No, not Jason's, not Sardi's. No.
Spago?
Spago, yeah, yeah. And
Hey, Lila, what's the name of the restaurant, Lila?
the producer stood up in the restaurant in front of everybody and said, Modine, Orphans is a great movie. Nobody's going to see it, but it's a great film. And I wanted to crawl up my own orifice, you know. It was, yeah, that's my one. Yeah. The other one is Equinox, Alan Rudolph film, where I play twins in the film. And I did get nominated for a Independent Spirit Award for the film, and Laura Flynn Boyle is in the film and was wonderful. Yeah, yeah, it was and Kevin J. O'Connor was in that one. Kevin, yeah, a good picture. Fred Ward.
Yeah, that is a great cast. Eric, you want to name some?
Oh, if I start, I can.
La Cucaracha is. Come up here.
Well, La Cucaracha.
You're welcome.
Here's my
Everybody,
wife.
This is Eric Roberts' wife.
My wife, my manager, my roommate, my boss.
Door on the floor, but neither of these guys was in it, but it's fantastic.
Oh, but Door on the Floor, Jeff Bridges, oh my God, it's incredible. Nobody saw it, but us four. It's My Party didn't get seen enough. It's My Party for that genre of movie is my favorite of the whole bunch. What else? It's My Party, La Cucaracha, Heaven's Prisoners, you never got to see properly.
Heaven's Prisoners.
Yeah, Heaven's Prisoners. I play a badass.
You're good at badasses.
Yeah, I play a lot of.
Is that, I mean, you just love that? Or?
Yeah, I do, because I'm not really.
No.
No, I mean, you know, I'm kind of a martial artist, I'm kind of a pool player, I'm kind of those things, but I'm hardly a badass.
Do you crave playing like a goofy character?
I would love to play goofballs, yeah.
Yeah.
I really would.
Oh my gosh, casting people, listen.
Like the Pope of Greenwich Village.
Oh my gosh, my mother took me to see that when I was like 13, in the big, on the big screen. But it's,
But
I mean,
that's
I
an
was.
example of a movie that didn't get seen a lot at the beginning.
It was great.
Later
It
on.
became a cult classic on video, yeah. It was not a hit in the movie theater.
That's what he said.
That was a hit in New York, yeah.
Yeah, it was.
The summer wind came one of the, you know, I mean.
It's a classic amongst
When
film
they
lovers.
cut your finger off, don't they? Oh man!
My thumb.
Oh man! You gotta see this movie.
That was better than any person in any airport has ever done for Eric, Matthew, I gotta tell you.
Every airport I've ever in, I hear, "Hey Eric, you got your thumb."
Yeah.
Where's the word thumb?
But police officers do offer him a free ride everywhere in Manhattan because of Pope. They're like, hey, Wally.
Hey Eric, get in the car. Get in the car.
Can I remind him, you forgot to say something that you wanted to say about the Ribbon Club?
Oh, yeah. I forget.
You wanted to say.
Yeah, right, yeah, I like tell my wife this on the way over, and she said, oh, you have to remember that. And of course, I forgot it. It was, the Whipping Club, this book, is not about religious people gone wrong. It's about wrong people going religious. And when I said that, she says, oh, you have to say that in the thing. And of course, I forgot it.
Is Adam still here? Okay, good. Yeah, and that's such an important point to make, so that's why that's why this was, and also, you worked with a 10-year-old kid who apparently we just heard was cast with no audition. Adam, is that true?
I hadn't heard.
Oh.
Anyway, this kid's gonna be a movie star, yeah.
He was
He's gonna
cast
be a
in
real
something?
He's
movie star.
the other, there was just two of them in the Whipping Club.
No, I know, but you said the little boy is.
He was cast apparently with no audition. He was cast just because, just his presence in the room, and he really does have something magical.
Yeah, he does, he does.
Yeah, he was here last night on the red carpet.
Oh, cool.
Also doing brilliantly there, so we can all go home. He's 11.
How do you prep that, working with that age kid in that kind of scene?
You just walk on the set and you say, you do everything I say, okay, kid? No, I'm kidding. You don't prep that, you just have to roll with the punches. You have to go with it.
More questions?
Ah, come on.
Zach, one last question, please. Zach, one last question, please.
Okay. I have a question, and this applies to everybody, for both of you, actually all three of you, because you're part of the panel now too. What advice do you have for, well, your actors, but I also see you as filmmakers, for filmmakers who are just kind of getting out of film school or maybe thinking about going to film school? What advice do you have for them? Because you've had longevity. I'm imagining you've had longevity too. So I don't know your.
I've had more longevity than these two. You. Well, I'll begin.
Yeah,
you guys
please.
can think, because I am on the other side of it also.
Yeah,
I'm an
please.
actress, but I also coach, and I'm also a casting
Okay.
director. And now it's wonderful. You can make your own films.
Let me just interject some. She's coached everybody from George Clooney to Halle Berry to me. In fact, I go to her every time I'm doing anything, and she coaches me. And she's really, I am married to her, but she's remarkable.
Oh
Go
my
ahead.
gosh. What is your first name? Eliza.
Thank you. But the advice is go do kind of what you've done. Go do it for sure. Go do it, because now you can. But be as good at marketing as you are at your making your product, because the getting it out there. We don't want these things to be orphans, but be true to yourself. Be brave. If you think you're being honest, dig deeper, and just assemble something wonderful. I mean, now you can do that. You don't have to have a middleman. There's no committee to kill the commitment. It's pretty great, and we don't have to worry about length anymore. It could be any length, and just really do the whole thing and have confidence and be sure to just spread it around and be shameless about that. That's what I would say anyway.
That's great. That's great. And you wear a lot of hats too.
Yes.
Which I think is important.
Yeah, I think so. Now you can do that. It used to be you had to be categorized in one thing.
Casting,
or another.
acting, behind the
Exactly.
scenes, production, everything.
Yeah, but now you can wear orange socks.
Oh.
We're all wearing orange socks, basically, in essence.
That's so great.
But go ahead.
Matthew?
Jeez, you kind of want to know who you're talking to before you give any kind of advice, what a person's background is, what their understanding of life is, because it's fragile, art, something very fragile, something so easy to be destroyed. I don't look for structure when I write. I write, and I find that by writing, it finds its own structure. I think that the kind of three-act structure that exists in screenwriting is something that, if you ever saw a movie called Run, Lola, Run, they threw that kind of structure out the window. So I guess the kind of advice that I'd give would be to develop your concerns. What are you concerned about? I'm concerned about the environment. I'm concerned about religious prejudice that exists in the world, and how I find that it's the most destructive thing on the planet. And if we don't find a solution to the environmental problems and the religious problems that we're faced with, I fear for us all. So those are my concerns, and I read about those kind of things. I listen to people who are talking about those kind of things, and I know that that's a kind of film that I want to make. It's a kind of role that I want to play. I want to be like Charlie Chaplin and the great dictator who stands up and talks about war and makes one of the greatest speeches ever delivered on film, and it was the first time he ever spoke in a movie. If you've never seen it, go online and look at Charlie Chaplin and the great dictator giving the greatest speech of all time. But it's about love, and it's about passion, it's about humanity. It's about us all being brothers and sisters and solving our problems with dialogue and discussion, rather than being like cavemen and using sticks and stones and now atomic bombs and dirty bombs and ricin to destroy other people's lives and livelihoods. So those are things that I'm concerned about. So I think that that was advice that was given to me by a Russian teacher at Stella Adler's Conservatory of Acting in New York. He told me to develop my concerns and be passionate about them, because then when the opportunity arises and it comes to you and that script comes across the desk, you're going to have been working on that role for 20 years, for 30 years of developing, and there's not going to be a better person in the world to play the part for you than you.
That's great.
Oh, my turn. Okay. The only advice I have for filmmakers is just get out and do it. Even if you don't have a script or an idea, go out on the sidewalk, take pictures of people walking past, and how they do it differently or the same, whatever. You can make a story out of that. Just never stop taking pictures with your camera, and you will eventually find yourself through your art. And yeah, rock out.
Yeah. Thank you, Susan Johnston, and I really appreciate all you panelists so much. I think you're amazing guys. Thank you. Go see La Cucaracha, go see Orphans, go see Equinox, go see Lovelace, go see all this great stuff.
Orphans
these
is
people
so
are doing.
good. That's the only time I've ever been jealous of you. Orphans.
And go see Popa Greenwich Village, go see, everything that these guys, go to iTunes, Runaway Train, of course, yeah.
There's movies right here. The East is here. That was good.
Yeah, Full Metal Jacket, Vision Quest, just go see it all. All right, thank you.
You want to see a really good
Oh my gosh.
independent film? See Love is a Gun. Hard to find. Great title, huh? Love is a Gun. You'll like it. Yeah, Kelly Preston's in it, yeah.